Hello, and welcome back to Daily English with Lily and Leo. I'm Lily.
And I'm Leo. And before we start, please subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the podcast grow, and it means you never miss an episode.
Today, we are talking about something that every single person listening to this has done multiple times. Today's topic is mistakes.
Yes, mess-ups, disasters. That specific kind of silence after something goes wrong and you just stand there thinking, did that really just happen?
Exactly that. And we're going to talk about why mistakes are actually one of the best ways to learn, not just in English, but in life.
Which is convenient, because I had a fairly spectacular one this week.
Oh no, what happened?
Okay, so I recorded a voice message, a long one, complaining about my editor's latest round of feedback on an article. Quite specific complaints, quite dramatic delivery.
And you sent it to your editor?
I sent it to the group chat that includes my editor, yes, instead of my friend Marta, who would have agreed with every word and said, totally, he's impossible.
Leo!
There was a pause of about 40 seconds, and then my editor replied with a single thumbs up.
A thumbs up. That is brutal.
I stared at my phone for about 2 minutes, and then I sent back a very sincere message about how much I value his attention to detail and how it makes my work stronger.
Did he reply?
Another thumbs up, and then at our next meeting, he didn't say a single word about it. I'm going to take that as forgiveness and also a learning moment.
That is a very specific kind of learning moment.
The lesson? Always check who you're sending a voice message to. Won't make that mistake again, or at least not with him.
Okay, my mistake this week was less dramatic, but more repeated. I have been attempting to learn guitar, as some listeners may know, and there is one chord, G major, that I have been getting wrong for about 3 months now.
3 months on the same chord?
3 months on the same chord. I put my fingers in the right position, I look at the diagram, I play the chord, it sounds terrible. Every single time.
Terrible how?
Like a cat sitting on a piano, like something that should be music but has given up partway through.
Have you asked for help?
I watched a video. I watched 4 videos. The people in the videos make it look very easy, and I have chosen to find them deeply annoying.
And yet you keep going.
I keep going because the thing is, every time I play it wrong, I learn something very specific about what wrong feels like. And apparently, eventually, that adds up to right.
That is trial and error in action.
Exactly. You try something, it doesn't work, you adjust, you try again. My neighbor is not entirely happy about the adjustment phase, but I keep going.
Your neighbor is doing remarkable work just letting this happen.
She told me once that she finds it charming. I think she was being very kind.
Very diplomatic. Okay, but this is the thing about mistakes. It's not really about the mistake itself. It's about what you do with it.
Right. And when you're learning a language, mistakes can feel enormous. You say the wrong word, you get the tense wrong, you completely lose what you were trying to say, and it feels like failure.
It feels like evidence that you can't do it.
But it's the opposite. It's evidence that you're trying, and trying is the only way forward.
My first year of writing in English for work, I made a mistake in a published article. I used affect instead of effect. A reader emailed in to correct me.
What did you do?
I thanked him genuinely, fixed it, and then looked up the difference for about an hour until I was completely certain I'd never confuse them again. And I haven't.
The reader who emailed was annoying, but also useful.
Extremely annoying. Very useful. That is sometimes how learning works.
David. Do you remember David? He was our friend who tried to fix his kitchen sink from a YouTube tutorial and flooded the whole floor.
I do remember David.
At the time, that was a disaster. Water everywhere. He had the whole floor redone. But he said it was the moment he became genuinely curious about plumbing. Not embarrassed, curious.
And now he's a professional plumber who loves his job.
Loves it. Says it was the best decision he ever made. The flooded kitchen was the first step. He just didn't know it at the time.
Julia had a similar thing with her cactuses. You remember the compost experiment.
Oh, Spike and Prickly Peter. That did not go well.
She decided to make homemade compost for them. It was the wrong type, too acidic, and both Spike and Prickly Peter spent several weeks looking very sorry for themselves.
She was genuinely upset about it.
But after that, she read everything she could find about cactus soil. She knew more about cactus nutrition than most people know about their own diet.
And now Spike is on the balcony in summer. She checks the weather every morning. He is thriving.
Trial and error. You try something, something suffers, you learn exactly what not to do, and you come out the other side knowing more than any instructions would have taught you.
There's something about making a mistake that sticks with you in a way that reading about it doesn't. If someone tells you, don't do this, you might forget. But if you do it and it goes wrong, you remember.
The mistake becomes the memory.
And sometimes, years later, you look back and you cringe. That specific feeling of your brain replaying an embarrassing moment at completely random hours.
Why does the brain do that? 3 a.m, totally unprompted. Here's that thing you did in 2014.
I have a year 7 presentation that visits me regularly. I was supposed to talk for 2 minutes about the water cycle. I stood up, I looked at the class, and every single word I had prepared completely left my head.
All of it?
Total blank. I stood there for about 20 seconds in silence. At 13 years old, that felt like 20 minutes.
What happened?
My teacher very gently said, "It's okay, take a breath," and I did. And I remembered the first sentence, and then the rest followed.
And now you co-host a podcast.
And now I co-host a podcast. I think about that moment sometimes when something feels impossible. One breath, and the first sentence came back.
I have one from school too. Not a presentation, basketball. I was convinced I was going to be good at basketball. I had watched a lot of basketball. I understood the strategy.
And?
I was extremely enthusiastic and completely terrible. I could not get the ball in the net from any distance. My form was wrong, my footwork was wrong, everything about my game was loudly incorrect.
But you kept playing.
I kept playing because I realized very quickly that I was having a great time. We still play now with the group Sweaty Legends, and I am still the loudest person on the court and not the most accurate, and it does not matter at all.
There's something in that. Maybe the point of some things isn't to be perfect at them. The point is to do them.
The point is to show up, be loud, have fun, be part of it.
You can do something imperfectly and still get everything you came for.
And sometimes a setback, or a whole string of setbacks, is just the price of entry.
Okay, vocabulary time. 5 words from today that are really worth knowing.
First, mess up. It's a phrasal verb, 2 words. To mess up means to make a mistake, to do something wrong. I completely messed up the presentation. She messed up the recipe. Very common in everyday English, casual, natural, not rude.
You hear this all the time. I messed up. I'm sorry. Don't mess this up. It covers everything from small errors to significant disasters.
Second, setback. This is a noun. A setback is something that slows your progress or causes a problem along the way. The flooded kitchen was a major setback, but David kept going. The word itself implies something temporary, a step back before you move forward.
It's different from failure. A failure is the end. A setback is something in the middle.
Third, trial and error. This is a noun phrase. Trial and error means trying different approaches until you find one that works, accepting that some attempts will fail, and that's part of the process. Getting the recipe right was a lot of trial and error. My guitar progress is basically just trial and error.
That is a very accurate example.
Very accurate. And useful. If you don't want to say, I had no idea what I was doing, you can just say, it was trial and error.
Fourth, cringe. To cringe, it's a verb, means to feel embarrassed about something, especially a past memory. I cringe every time I think about that presentation. You can also say cringeworthy, an adjective for something that makes you feel that way.
And in very casual English now, people just say, that was so cringe, as an adjective on its own. Language evolves.
It really does. Fifth and final, bounce back. Another phrasal verb. To bounce back means to recover after something difficult. A mistake, a setback, a hard situation. She messed up the experiment, but bounced back and learned everything about cactus soil. He sent the voice message to the wrong person, but bounced back with one very sincere reply.
That is suspiciously specific.
I thought it was a memorable example.
Fair enough. Okay, grammar. Today's grammar point fits perfectly with everything we've talked about because it is the grammar of storytelling. Participial clauses.
These sound more advanced than they actually are.
They really do sound alarming, but once you see them in context, you'll realize you've been reading them for years. A participial clause lets you connect two actions without using a full conjunction, like and or because.
So instead of saying, I stood at the front of the class and I forgot every word, you can say, standing at the front of the class, I forgot every word.
Standing at the front is the participial clause. It gives the background, the situation, and the main clause tells you what happened.
You use the ing form of the verb. And there's one important rule. The subject of both actions must be the same person.
Standing at the front of the class, I forgot every word. Both things, standing, forgetting, are mine. Same person. If the subjects were different, this structure wouldn't work.
Another example. Not knowing what to say, Leo just left. He didn't know what to say, and he left. Same person. The not at the beginning makes it negative.
You can also use having plus the past participle to show that the first action was completed before the second. Having sent the message to the wrong chat, Leo spent the next hour composing a very sincere apology.
Having tells you the first thing was already done when the second thing happened. Sequence. Having made the same chord wrong 3 times in a row, I closed the guitar case and made tea.
The tea was earned.
The tea was absolutely earned. You can also use participle clauses with a passive meaning. Left alone in the kitchen with a YouTube tutorial, David flooded the entire floor. The past participle left creates a passive idea. Someone left him there without needing to say, being left.
Participial clauses are very common in written English and in storytelling. Journalists use them constantly.
Because they make the story flow, less stopping and starting, more movement.
A quick thing to practice. Think of a mistake you made recently. Now try to connect what happened with what came after, using a participial clause. Having messed up, I. Not knowing what to do next, I. Sitting there in silence, I.
You don't have to say it out loud. Just try it in your head. That's already learning.
That is already 1%.
Okay, motivation. And I want to keep this specific to today.
Go for it.
Mistakes feel like evidence against you, like proof that you're not ready, not capable, not good enough.
But every single story we told today ends the same way. David flooded his kitchen. Now he's a plumber who loves Monday mornings.
Julia's cactuses nearly didn't make it through the compost experiment. Now Spike is on a balcony checking the forecast.
A voice message went to entirely the wrong person. A lesson was learned. A sincere reply was sent.
And I have been playing G major wrong for 3 months, and every wrong version is teaching my hands something.
The mistake is part of the path, not a detour around the path. It is the path.
If you're learning English right now and you feel like you're making too many mistakes, good. That means you're speaking. It means you're trying. The people who make the fewest mistakes are the ones who say the least.
And that's not learning. That's standing very still and hoping no one notices.
Show up, try, mess up, bounce back. 1% every day.
1% every day.
Curiosity, Leo. How is the someday jar?
Enthusiasm. I made coffee at home every single morning this week, 5 days in a row.
That is genuinely impressive.
I know. I think Biscuit has become a positive influence on my financial discipline. She supervised every transaction.
What's the balance now?
€5.30, 20 cents up from last time.
You're building a habit.
I am building a habit, and Biscuit is taking full credit. She sits next to the jar and looks at me if I reach for it. Very effective.
Any other news?
The mystery box is still sealed. She slept on it again last night. I looked at it this morning and thought, maybe this is the week. Then I went and made coffee instead.
Classic.
Some mysteries are more interesting than their answers. I've decided that's not procrastination, it's philosophy.
Speaking of things that have no resolution, pizza. Dinner food or breakfast food?
Dinner. It is the reward you earn at the end of a long day, after the mistakes, after the work, after the voice message goes to the wrong person. You sit down, you appreciate the pizza appreciates you.
Cold pizza, the morning after, with tea, sitting quietly before the world starts, and there's this perfect cold slice waiting. That is peace. That is the reward for surviving yesterday.
That is not breakfast.
That is an excellent breakfast.
We will never agree on this.
Never, and that's okay. Some disagreements are more interesting unresolved.
Like the mystery box.
Exactly like the mystery box. Okay, that's our episode for this week. Thank you so much for being here with us.
If you enjoyed this one, please subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps more people find the podcast.
And this week's comment task, tell us about a mistake you made that turned into something good. Big, small, embarrassing, it doesn't matter. We read every single comment.
Everyone. And we genuinely love hearing from you.
We'll see you next week. Until then,
1% every day.
1% every day. Bye.
Bye.